Hi, and welcome again to another episode of Around the Clock, sharing the daily crypto news, tips, and trends with you. You know what time it is. It's 8 o'clock. It's that time. So we're going to hopefully be able to get this done fairly quickly tonight. And Allie is going to join us as soon as she can. You guys just bear with me. We're going to take a look at the market. I'm actually trying to multitask, so please forgive me. I hate doing this while I'm on the air. I sent out a link for someone to join me. They didn't get the right link, so I'm going to have to do it because it is what it is. I'm trying to get this done for you guys so we can get right to the news again. Let's take a look at the markets today. Let me go to my share screen feature with you. I hope everyone is having a lovely day on this Tuesday, August the 17th. I had a pretty good day today. No complaints at all. So let's look at the markets and see what they're doing. It looks like Bitcoin is at 44,790. Down just a little bit from what we were used to seeing it over the week, down 3.4%. We loved it when it was up there at the $47,000 level. Let's hope that it gets there and surpasses that. Everybody's hoping for Bitcoin to go back up to the $60,000 level. Ethereum still holding steady at over 3,000, although it's only $3,000 and $3,026. It's down for the week from down 4.3%. And then Cardano's been knocked out of the number 3 spot by Tether. Cardano is at under $2, at $1.93. And hopefully we shall see it rise again. The overall market is down today overall. So let's hold on, guys. I apologize again. Let's take a look at what's happening with the poly hack. We promised you here on this channel to keep you informed about what is going on, the latest breaking news as it relates to the largest hack / heist in crypto history on the Poly network of $600 million. The crypto platform heist asked the hacker in a strange, very strange turn of events to become their chief security officer. So let me share my screen with you for that. Only in crypto does anything like this happen. First of all, they were going to offer these hackers a $500,000 reward, which apparently they turned down. And shout out, hey, Big Rob, thank you for joining. Apparently they turned down the hacker who wanted to be known as the White Hat. Turned down that $500,000 reward, and another surprise turn of events that happened yesterday. And as far as we know, has returned all the money. There was a hang up with some of the money. Apparently the hacker had the password, and so the password and had to be used by Poly and the hacker to get that money back. It seems like most of the money has been returned, and they now have everything. But now, after turning down the reward, they have asked the hacker to become a chief security officer. This is wild. This could only happen in crypto, where somebody steals $600 million and is then offered a reward and then offered a job. So it's going to be, hey, Allison, how are you?
Hey.
This is the weird, wild, crazy world of crypto. So this happened today. Don't know what this hacker is going to say. A very, very bizarre twist. So I'm wondering now, there's some speculation that they did not turn all the money back in. And now, in addition to them turning down the $500,000 bounty, perhaps this is to sweeten the pot. I don't know. What do you think about this?
It's absolutely nuts. It's like every day it's something new. I can't even believe that they've offered him a job. Like, what? I'm assuming it's a him, by the way. Like, what?
OMG. I mean, where in the world could you steal 600 million and be offered a job?
Nowhere.
You know what this reminds me of? Do you remember that Leonardo DiCaprio movie, Catch Me If You Can?
Yes.
It kind of reminds me of this. Like, so he was the best thief in the world, and at the end, he actually ends up working, I think it was the FBI or some letter agency. After getting away with all this stuff, and when they finally did catch him, he was so good they actually offered him a job. So this is like Catch Me If You Can of crypto.
Yeah.
What the heck? Okay, so that is that news. We promised to keep you guys informed about this craziness. So, I guess we'll let you know whether or not he decides to accept this offer. Good Lordy. Looks like there is some other news, not a whole lot there about regulation. The regulation news was looking very, very good, at least for the past, week. We reported yesterday that yesterday was actually the anniversary of the Nixon taking the US dollar off of the gold standard in 1971. So that was big news. It's the 50-year anniversary of that. If you do have the link for the Twitter video, you can send that to me, Allison. Otherwise, I'm just going to share that article. And then if we have the chance to look at that video, we will.
I have it.
Okay, great. Send it to me and then I'll share that. But in the meantime, while she's doing that, let's look at this article from Politico. It says, massive wake-up call. Crypto faces growing legal crackdown. So enforcement actions are fueling debate about how cryptocurrency players fit into financial regulations. So again, this article by Politico is basically saying that, and what we already know, the politicians are taking this seriously now and beginning to look into how they can regulate this and do it, hopefully, what we hope will be done in a very fair way. But it didn't look like that was going to happen at first. But there's a growing number of legal settlements. And we said on this channel last week that it appears that that all of the letter agencies, the SEC, the CTFC, they've all been kind of green lighted to go after crypto. We're a new asset class. We don't necessarily have the best lobbying or the best lobbyist right now. That is all, being developed. There is a large, obviously very active community in crypto in the United States, but we're not necessarily organized. So them cracking down on these exchanges and whatnot. Some of the folks are saying that, of course, we know that crypto did need regulation. We're not saying that we didn't want some regulation in terms of protecting investors, but it seems like a lot of these agencies have really gone overboard and they're more interested in lining their pockets than actually protecting investors.
You pretty much summed it all up. The last sentence has summed it all up.
And it says here that in the article that they feel like, the exchanges are going to walk a lot more softly now. The CFTC Commissioner Dan Berkowitz said in an interview that some of the companies believe that the rules don't apply to them. I think that was true, but in very, very few cases, I do not think that was the rule. That was more the exception. Yes, there were some bad actors in the crypto space. We all are aware of that. But I think by and large, most folks were abiding by the rules and trying to do, the right things with some exceptions. So they should not paint all of crypto with that brush. And I'm really, everybody's looking at, all of the regulations that they have relate to fiat currency. They do not relate to cryptocurrency. So they're really going to have to not try to map on what applies to crypto with this, they really are going to have to make an effort to be original and just as original as this asset class is, and have rules that actually apply to crypto and not rules that they're using for, regular fiat. So again, this is just more confirmation that they're coming after a lot of these exchanges. They are going to be looking at creating regulation, and whether or not that that regulation is fair is going to be up to us. We all have to get involved and continue to call our representatives. So I'm going to try to share this article where it says the crypto community remembers how Nixon killed the dollar. So let's look at that, and then we'll bring up a video that kind of goes along with, hopefully we will, along with this article. And we shared another article with you guys yesterday about the anniversary of the dollar being taken off of the gold standard. Here's another one. Crypto community remembers how Nixon killed the dollar, reminds us that Bitcoin is a solution. And again, this also goes with what we talked about yesterday. Sorry, guys, for those ads. If you've been in crypto for a little while, you know about the Great Reset. And we all know that fiat currency, in every instance that it has ever been used anywhere in history, has eventually failed. So we definitely know, we can see for ourselves the rise of inflation not being in accordance or going along with what is happening in terms of the wages and the cost of living. So a lot of people see Bitcoin as a way to remedy this, is a solution to what happened. And most people who are in monetary economics are saying that all of this stuff has started to go downhill when Nixon took the United States dollar off of the gold standard. After the dollar was detached from the gold standard, productivity doubled, but it did not reflect in our wages. So here's a little chart here. Productivity soars, wages stagnate, and that's going from 1950 to 2018. Net productivity, as you can see, up almost 300%. And then the data on the wages, as time goes on, you can see it kind of rising, and after 1970, steadily declining and not keeping up with the productivity. So that is due, in many people's mind, in very large part to the fact that we're no longer on the gold standard, and the crypto community feels that Bitcoin could fix this. And if you want to give your thoughts on that, Allison, I'm going to try to bring up this Twitter video.
Yeah, my only thought about the video is that you may get some feedback if you don't have headphones in.
Uh-oh.
Because it's the speaker. Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe not. It could just be in my computer.
You guys just bear with us if you are hearing feedback and you're watching, just comment in the chat. I'm going to
It's actually a great video
to share that. So hold tight.
Someone is asking, who does he inbox about improvement on the channel? You can find us on Twitter. Corey, do we have our Twitter links on here?
Yes, it's right below this video in the banner.
In the description, Rob.
Yeah. And if you're looking for our personal Twitters, that is in the description. I just said Twitters with an S. What the heck? Hold on. I'm going to have to make sure I share audio, because if I don't do that, we won't hear anything. So is this it? Is this the one? Let's see. Let me go back.
The strength of a nation's currency is based on the strength of that nation's economy. And the American economy is by far the strongest in the world. Accordingly, I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators. I have directed Secretary Connolly to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States.
I know I've let you down. I've been a fool to myself. I thought that I could live with no one else. But now, to all the hurt and pain, it's time for me to respect the ones you love me more than anything. So with sadness in my heart, feel the best thing I could do is end it all and leave forever. What's done is done, it feels so bad. What once was happy now is sad. I'll never love again, my world is ending.
Okay, so that basically highlighted the decline of the U.S. dollar, especially in communities of color. They really felt it quite sharply. You saw the chart there for Black income. We know that the income gap and inequality in this country for almost everybody, not just people of color, especially them, but not just them, has definitely been inequality in terms of income as at an all-time high. And that is primarily because of Nixon's decision, according to a lot of experts, to remove USD from the gold standard. And we can see how that is impacting us even to this day. Wages not in accordance with how things have risen, inflation and the cost of living definitely not on the rise. And these depressions / recessions are not helping anyone. We're all feeling it. And that's one of the reasons we're so passionate on this channel about crypto and how crypto can really help to lift people, especially women and minorities, out of poverty. It is an opportunity for that. And we're all so very early here learning about this new asset class. Any comments on the video? Did you, what was the message you took from that?
I actually loved that video. It really hits home the point. You know, some people might not think that Bitcoin is the answer, but it hits home the point that something has to change because what we're doing now is not working. So yes, we need a plan B. Is that plan B going to be Bitcoin? I'm not so sure, but it achieves its goal of making its point, which is we need a plan B. We need to do something else.
For sure. And crypto could be the way. We know that central banks are definitely coming up with a lot of them will be coming up with their own digital currencies. They see that what has been is not working, and they realize themselves that they need to make changes. At the same time, they're also fighting against any change that's not coming from themselves, change that they themselves have done. So
I mean, no one likes change, especially a massive government. Any government, I mean, all of their hands are in the pot in various ways. They're not going to be thrilled about change, but in the end, I think that they will get on board, or they're going to be left behind. So,
all right, we'll definitely keep our ears open, and we will share with you guys what we find out there in terms of what's happening with regulation and the reset. If you want to, whatever term you want to give it. We do know that new monetary policy is forthcoming. We just none of us knows what that's going to look like, but something has to give. I had this news that Allison shared last night about audio and their partnership with TikTok. Just wanted to share that with you guys as well. Big money to be made. This explains what is happening with audio and the price surge that's happening right now, as a matter of fact. The audio market cap surges past 1 billion after the TikTok Audius partnership news. Traders appear bullish after the viral app chose Audius to power its new TikTok sounds library. So this is really big news for Audius. It's still not too late to get in. If you see it pull back, I've been a fan of this particular cryptocurrency since day one. If you see a pullback, definitely, again, this is not financial advice, but just sharing what I'm doing. If I see a pullback, I'm definitely buying more audio. This is turning into what looks like a huge crypto gem.
Yeah, and you've been in since day one. Well done, Corey.
Let's see what the price looks like today, even though most stuff is red. Let me see. Looks like it's sitting at almost $3 right now. So you guys know, like a couple of weeks ago, you could get audio for like, $1. it was on sale big time. So now it's sitting at almost $3 and looks like it's actually going to continue to go up. I think its all-time high was $5. And it looks like it will be continuing on its upward journey to get to and hopefully break that all-time high. But this is a great long-term hold going into 2022. We had some more information to share with you tonight on the metaverse. But we're going to get to that right after we share our favorite crypto tokens with you. And this is stuff that we are personally invested in.
But not financial advice.
Not financial advice, but this is what we are doing. So just want to share with you the crypto projects that we have faith in and that we feel like are going to get gains for us. And we're going to share two of our favorites. And Allison, if you want to go first, you can do that.
Sure. Okay, sorry. I have a bunch of notes for both of them. One of them, actually, if you don't mind, I think you know the one that I'm referring to when I say this. I think it goes really well with the metaverse article.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could share that one like right before we go into that article, it would be a great segue. I did change one of mine because I felt that maybe I shouldn't talk about a coin that doesn't have great fundamentals and I was just taking a gamble on. So first I am going to talk about Solana. It was created in 2017. And so it's relatively new compared to some of the other projects that are out there. And it was actually, I don't know if anyone knows this, a little random fact about it. It was named after a small beach town that it was created near San Diego called Solana Beach. Sort of like a nod to that beach town. It's a newer blockchain and they use proof of history as their consensus mechanism. So basically, Solana can be kind of confusing, so I'm going to make it short and very simple. Basically, they insert time, like timestamps, into the block so that the chain doesn't have to wait until the current block is finished to keep moving forward. So there's always a timestamp, so it's always moving, it's not waiting. And that makes it incredibly fast. And it can do up to, I've seen a few numbers, 55,000 to 60,000 transactions per second, just blazing fast. Not only is it very fast, but it is a very cheap. I think we discussed how cheap it was when we were talking about NFTs on Solana the other day. It's like a transaction on Solana. If you were to compare it to Ethereum, it's a fraction of the price. They are decentralized and they use this proof of history to move as fast as possible. They also have a cross-chain bridge that it gets a little complicated for me when we get into bridges. I'm still struggling with that aspect. But they do have a cross-chain bridge that allows you to transfer assets from Ethereum over to Solana. And they're also doing Bitcoin, BSC, and Terra Luna. Price, when I wrote down my little notes, I see it's gone down slightly. It was 65.74. Now it's 64.76. But if there's so much room, everyone calls when these projects come out, it's the next Ethereum killer. I don't think we need to kill Ethereum, but we can run alongside Ethereum and make the entire cryptocurrency industry better and stronger by working together and complementing each other. So if you were to take the market cap of Ethereum, and I'm sorry, if you were to take the market cap of Solana and put it at the market cap of Ethereum, that would put Solana at $1,244 a coin. I'm not saying it's going to get to that, but it's possible. The chain is exploding. They have over 200 projects there. There's always new things being developed. And the biggest and most important thing that's happening now, I think, is the way that NFTs and also gaming is growing on Solana. So we just talked about the Degenerate Ape Academy the other day. They have Bold Badgers. They did, I think we mentioned that Solana sponsored Lollapalooza. They had a whole set of different NFTs, posters, commemorative things, the sunglasses. Some of them were free. Some of them you had to pay for. They had another project that just launched called Franked. And that, I just wanted to read really quickly the description on that. I know we're not talking about this, but it's a generative fractal art NFT collection combining fractals, math, and blockchain with 10,000 unique pieces. So perhaps that's similar to one of the art blocks collections that are out right now. I did look at them and they look really cool. And then we have on August 26th, a huge project that's going to be dropping, Star Atlas. People are very excited about this. It's full of NFTs. The graphics are stunning. There's just a lot happening on the blockchain. And yes, I am invested in it. I'm excited to be invested in it. And I think that there's a lot more to come in the coming months.
Awesome. Solana's been on one of those projects that's been very highly, touted, very much looking forward to seeing what it's going to do moving into 2022. I remember when Solana was like under $30.
Yeah.
And look at it today. And it's one of the only things green today. Yeah. A lot happening on that blockchain.
Yeah. What's one of your faves?
Let me go to one of my faves. I want to talk about Tidal token. And this is a token from Tidal Finance. I'm just going to share their website with you. At least I hope I am. This is kind of one that's been under the radar that I think is really, really going to do well moving into 2022. Again, not financial advice, just my personal opinion. And I do, this is one of the things that I keep buying. Tidal token is about ensuring the DeFi blockchain economy. And I feel like we're all talking about regulation. We're all talking about what's going to come down the pike for crypto in terms of, what are the letter agencies going to do? I feel like what they're going to do for sure in terms of what they claim to want to do, which is protect investors, is that they are going to be making sure that these exchanges, that these blockchains, these cryptocurrencies are somehow insured, just like FDIC in banks. And I feel like insurance, and there's other cryptocurrencies that you may be familiar with that also offer insurance on offer insurance to blockchains. But Tidal is one of those ones that, like I said, is really undervalued. It's got a lot of big name partnerships that are behind it. Let's take a look at some of them. Down here on the bottom, AU21 Capital, the Marlin token that people may be familiar with. They just did a partnership with StayFi. There's some very big names behind AU21 Capital, so they have deep pockets. And some of these people that they have partnered with, they have also insured. So definitely take a look at Tidal token. It's, like I said, I think it's kind of under the radar right now. Let's take a look at where the price is sitting, but it has a great entry point at this point in time. And as regulators start to regulate, I think this is going to be a requirement, is they're going to be asking that these blockchains and currencies be insured. And they're going to be looking to companies like Tidal Finance to do that.
Can I ask a question?
You could.
I wonder about when it comes to maybe regulators asking for protocols to be insured. Even FDIC doesn't cover, like, let's say you have $1 million spread over 2 bank accounts. If something were to happen, they don't cover all of that. So if regulators were to cover or request that a protocol carry insurance for those invested or deposits, depending on whatever the protocol does, do you think that it will be 100% coverage or something similar to FDIC?
I think it'll probably end up being something similar to FDIC. Again, we all know that crypto has very great rewards, but also very high risk. Getting a partial return is better than getting nothing. And we've all experienced some rug pulls. A lot of times when you get hacked, unless you have a company that has, really deep pockets, that may come back and say to you that we'll restore, what was taken, but sometimes that doesn't happen, and you're just left kind of out there, and it's just the chance that you took and the risk that you took, and it's kind of like oh well, or the company goes under. So having a company like Tidal Finance, and there are others, to take some of the risk factor out of the risk, the very high risk, would be comforting to a lot of investors. And you can see here, you can get in right now for under a penny into Tidal Finance. And I feel like this is one of the ones, my personal opinion, to look for, not financial advice, moving into 2022. Did you want to share your next one? I know you said it kind of went with the metaverse.
Sure. Yes. And I'm pretty sure that I know at one point, I think you were invested in this. I'm not sure if you still are. I am. And just like with Solana, it is something that I add to on a regular basis, and I will not stop in this particular one because it's very affordable. And that is Reserve Rights Protocol. I think what's behind Reserve Rights Protocol is something that both you and I are passionate about. They're actually going to be starting a new marketing program in September, and the whole emphasis is on the fact that stable currency is and want to fight hyperinflation. So RSR, Reserve Rights Protocol, is first of all a Coinbase Ventures project. So you know that it has massive backers, including Peter Thiel, who, it's interesting, PayPal is used widely in countries that reserve is being tested in right now. And that is not by coincidence that he has found this project and is invested in it. I think that he realizes perhaps some of the weaknesses that PayPal has. And he found someone was creating RSR, and he was all in right from the beginning. Now, it is a 2-coin protocol. So you have RSR, and then you have RSV. RSV is the stable coin, and it is going to be fully backed. In the beginning, it will be pegged to $1, but their goal, and they are centralized right now, their goal is to be fully decentralized. And the backing will be a various basket of assets, cryptocurrencies. Right now, what's backing it is USDC, Polynex, and one other. I'm sorry, PAX and TUSD. Sorry about that. My dad lives in Colombia, and inflation is a real problem there. Not only that, but they do not make much money there, and they're only paid once a month. And reserve is in Colombia right now. It's also in Venezuela, and it is widely used in Venezuela, actually. And I'm sorry, Panama. My mind was drawing a blank. It's also in Panama. Eventually, they have goals to even come to the U.S. So there is an income opportunity for investors in RSR, and that will be through arbitrage, but it will not happen until the mainnet goes live, and they are hoping that that happens this year. They've been rather quiet, and I think a lot of people were concerned. They had a high of like 11 or 12 cents, and then it went all the way down to a cent.
Right.
And people were very nervous by that. Oh, well, why is reserve so quiet? This was supposed to be like this game-changing project, and look what's happened to it. But that's because they just had their heads down, and they were working hard testing the app out there live. And they had, in the beginning, it was invite only, and they would open it up in batches of 100 people. I follow the project really closely, and some people that are what I would consider like influencers for this particular coin. They're not being paid by the project, but they're just as passionate about it as I am. One of those people is Sweet Sinner. She's an Irish woman, and her name is Nev. And she's always sharing awesome things about it. But I'm really excited about being in this project because everyone deserves the right for, if you have $10 and you put that away, next week it should still be $10. And the week after that, it should still be $10. It shouldn't crash down to 50 cents. And they feel strongly, Nevin actually is who's running the project, that everyone has this basic human right. So I think that people should look at it if you're not in it. They're doing a major marketing push, like I said, starting in September. So maybe we'll see the price move, but I'm not even worried about the price right now. I know that the investors are solid. I know that the team is solid. I 100% believe in them and what they're doing. So I will keep investing in it. And I'm not going to sell like everyone. Oh, if something gets to $1, everyone has these amounts. Sure, there'll be profit points or spots that I have, but I plan on being a very long-term holder of this project. And I do think that it goes in terms of inequality to the next article that you're talking about. So whenever you wanted to go to that, yeah.
And this looks like the coin had an all-time high in April of about almost 12 cents.
It's about 4 now, right?
Yeah, it's about 4 now. Lots of room to grow there. RSR also addressing a social issue. If these countries that have these, really high inflationary rates on their currency and just find it hard to even like buy a loaf of bread. We all know about those African countries as a good example of like very high inflationary rates in some places there. So if this
Yeah.
currency could actually become the stable coin that it wants to, here's another disruptor in the crypto industry. It's a great
This
choice.
is what Bitcoin should have been.
Yeah.
I fully believe that. Sure that some people might not like that statement. It's pretty bold. I realize that, but I stand by it.
Hey now, I'm with you there. I'm like, again, there's so many options here in crypto, so many altcoins, that, and we don't know, because it is so new, who's going to be around 5 or 10 years from now. But those who have a good use case, you generally, again, not financial advice, but generally those are the ones you want to look toward doing your own research into. It doesn't have utility. RSR has tons of utility. A token like Tidal Finance in their native token Tidal has tons of utility. So those are the things you want. Meme coins are fun, but they're a lot more high risk than these kinds of things that actually have a use case. So, and have a visible team or have audits conducted, all of those things. And I know that RSR has done audits. I know that the Tidal Finance company has had their token Tidal audited as well. Both of these tokens that we just talked about, RSR and Tidal, both have large and visible teams. So that's another thing. They're not anonymous teams. You can literally go to their website and see who the team is. Is that a guarantee of success? No, but it is a better or an intelligent risk to take as compared to a token that has an anonymous team, has never had any audits done. And there's a whole list of other things you should be looking for that we'll continue to talk about here on this channel. But those are two for now. And you mentioned, let me go ahead and pull up this metaverse article.
This was such a good article.
Yeah, I really love this too. And as we move forward and our technology continues to take us to new and different places, we want that to actually reflect what our communities look like.
Mm-hmm.
So this article really talks about as society progresses toward the metaverse, companies and platforms in the virtual world are taking steps to ensure that the virtual world actually reflects the diversity of the real world. Proto-metaverse platforms such as Minecraft and Roblox are widely perceived as the domain of white male teenagers. However, this perception has become a misconception as the demographics of the gaming community have widened. So if you look at who makes up the players of Roblox, I know my granddaughter, that's her favorite virtual space. Fortnite, all of these, we can see that those platforms are already a lot more diverse than what people might actually think. But we know that this surprising diversity doesn't mean that all groups are represented equally in gaming. The historical lack of representation in gaming continues to deter women and racial minorities from fully diving into the community. It kind of created this perception that this is for us and not for them, said Anthony Frazier, whose company ABF Creative is producing a podcast about trailblazing Black game console designer Jerry Lawson. We actually faced racism at a high level just because we enjoy games. So what did you think of this article and the statements that it is making?
I think that it's very accurate. You can observe that just looking at, I'm not very much into gaming. I am into the metaverse and I'm going to start exploring that. But if you look at floor prices of NFTs, particularly at CryptoPunks and also Meebits, you will find that the price for non-white males is lower than the price of maybe it's like, I mean, it's an NFT, right? But what looks like the image of a white male. And I think this is only part of the problem. Not only are certain demographics not represented, there is also a problem of an actual digital divide itself. So Cleveland, for example, is the least connected city in the entire country. And we have a large population of minorities inside, like, I guess you could call it Cleveland proper and the inner ring suburbs. So right outside of the city, which is where I live, is outside of a city. Not only are they not represented in these games or NFTs, they're not even getting online. So I know it's hard to believe for us, because we're online every day. We take it for granted, but a lot of people, they're just not even online at all. If they have a cell phone, that's their access. They don't have a computer. They don't have Wi-Fi. And I think that this is something that we need to address. And I think that some of the tech companies actually are trying to address it. They're trying to provide public broadband for residents. And I think that that would be a great step, because also you have younger people and even college students who, if they aren't having classes in person, they have classes online. But if they have no access to the internet, how are they supposed to learn? So yeah, I actually think this is a great article, and it brings up some really important points. But I would like to be involved. I don't know, did you have in your area, do they have Cranes? It's like a business publication. I want to feel like there's one in like every city. They did in my city, which is Cleveland. They did a 3-month series on the digital divide and what we can do to fix it, including like a bunch of Zoom meetings, which would equate to like symposiums or conferences, but they weren't getting together in person. And it was really interesting. And for a while, Ohio was looking like they were going to pass a ban on public broadband. No one could understand why. It's just wild. Thankfully, the state legislators, they saw the light, like, oh, we can't do this. And a lot of Ohio is rural as well. And that everyone knows there's a major problem with rural people getting online. So I think that this is a problem that we can all work towards a solution on. It would be great to see more representation of what the world actually looks like. We're not all the same.
No, we're not. And the whole thing about, having communities of color and women being, lifted out of poverty, utilizing the vehicle of crypto, doesn't happen if we can't get online.
Yeah.
People being exposed to like the metaverse and exposed to NFTs and all of those wonderful things that can create economic upturn in someone's life doesn't happen if they're not online. And we do need to realize too that we have to have a seat at the table. When we first got into crypto, and we talked about this in our very first show, you did not see a whole lot of representation of women at the table. It was a very male dominated, and still is to some degree, a little better now as time goes on, place to be. There's not very many daily news shows that are talking about crypto that have women involved. You can just point to, kind of a handful of examples. I think that is definitely growing and changing, but we have to be at the table. When the metaverse comes, it has to reflect what society actually looks like. Because if it is about, creating this new and hopefully better world, or at least an adjunct to the world that actually exists, then it has to be fair and it has to be representative of the diversity that we have in real life. Yes. Or it's not going to succeed. And that is truth. It has to have women, it has to have minorities, and it has to be, and people have to feel welcome in the space. And so, yeah, I'm with you, Allison. Any way that we can find to work on getting everyone connected to the internet, and then into places where they can improve the quality of their lives, we should all be working toward those goals.
Yes.
So let me share my, we did RSR, we did title token. So my second token that I like and that I have in my portfolio is GraphLink. and I'm going to share their website with you. GraphLink is also an indexing protocol, very similar to the Graph, although they don't say that because I guess they don't. A lot of these, everybody or people who are into crypto may be aware of Graph. That's a very famous indexing protocol that has a coin. And a lot of people have the Graph token. So GraphLink is like that in that you can create and link with other blockchains. If you see things that say the buzzwords like interoperability, cross-chain, bridges, all of that stuff, these are things that are answering a problem in the blockchain world. So those are definitely things you should do research on and find out if they're viable, what the use case is, and if they already have partnerships. So there won't just be one. A very famous oracle is like Chainlink. People know about Chainlink, but there are other oracles and there are other oracle protocols that will also have a place at the table in terms of being viable as something that is going to create gains for people invested in those tokens. So it won't just be Chainlink. There will be another Chainlink like protocol that will also do well. It's not just going to be Graph that's going to do well as a indexing protocol. There'll be other things like GraphLink that may also do well. So, and also we'll get a piece of the pie. It won't just be a monopoly. So you want to be looking at those things. And right now, being able to get into GraphLink is way easier in terms of affordable than getting into Graph token might be for some people. So let me look at what Graph is sitting at right now. But I really like this, again, as another contender for the indexing protocol and the interoperability of blockchain. They solve, again, these are things that solve a problem. GraphLink is 1,141 in terms of their rank. I'm going to stop sharing this screen so I can go to CoinGecko so you can see what that is sitting at right now. Much easier to get into than Graph right now, but it's at 2 cent. It's down 14%. Again, I'm looking for this to be one of the future, and I'm trying to give you guys things that you have an easy access to get into. It's not already sitting at $1. And not to say that there are some tokens that are sitting at that are not a great place to start because of where they could grow to. But this is something is like 2 cent right now that you could, get into, start cost averaging into, buying a little bit every week or every 2 weeks, whatever your budget allows, and be looking toward, what that's going to do moving into 2022. Looks like that had an all-time high of 10 cent. So it's fallen in 3 months about 79%. So it's on sale. Great entry point for this particular cryptocurrency called GraphLink. And definitely check out their website, GraphLink.io, and see if it's something that you may want to get a bag of. Not financial advice, just what I am doing. Allison, what was your second one? Did we do your second one already?
We did, yeah. Solana and RSR.
Okay, sorry. I forgot about Solana. How could I forget about Solana? So Solana, RSR for Allison, and then for me, I gave you guys 2 coins that had great entry points right now. Tidal Finance, and they're a native token Tidal, and then GraphLink Protocol, its native token GLQ. So check out all of those. Do your own research. Never take any influencer or any YouTube or whoever Twitter person's word for it. Always do your own research, because that way you learn about crypto for yourself. You're adding to your knowledge base, and you can make an informed decision based on your own research. So definitely we encourage that. Speaking of doing your own research and having a community to assist and support you in that, our Discord group. You can see how to join our Discord group in the banner below, going to Cryptonairz.com, and you can, with the coupon code SUMMER40, You can get 40% off of any subscription level that you choose. That's a great deal right now for a whole lot of knowledge. There are people on the Discord who have a great deal of knowledge and experience that they would love and do share with you. There's groups on there. We're part of that group that does research on these tokens. We've done research on the tokens that we shared with you tonight. And there are write-ups in that Discord about each token. It's all in one place. So you can go, you don't have to go to 50 different sites. You can go to the one site and find hours and hours of research on different tokens and protocols and the pros and cons of those tokens, and to get the opinions of a lot of the other people that we have there in the Discord room. So that's a great place to gain knowledge, especially if you are a beginner. If you're a beginner, if you're a woman looking for a safe space to study crypto, this is the group for you. So I definitely encourage you to use that coupon code SUMMER40. And so we talked about the metaverse. There wasn't a whole lot out there today, but I thought that article really summed it up. In order for us to be successful moving forward, we're going to have to make sure diversity is a part of that. We've got some NFT stuff for you today. It looks like OpenSea has broken some records, all because of NFTs. Geez, I wish OpenSea should have a token.
I think it's only a matter of time.
It's coming, so watch out for that. But it says here in this article, trade volumes on OpenSea have surged nearly 950% in the last month as the NFT craze continues to grow stronger and stronger. And it looks like too, OpenSea is going to have to start leveling up. I don't think they were ready for this, because they spent a lot of time like freezing and crashing and having it's good for them in a way, but it also means that they're going to have to step up their game. So I'm looking forward to see how they level up and how they're going to handle, because it looks like the NFT craze is going to go on for the rest of the summer.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say, when is OpenSea going to have their own token? They just did complete a massive funding round, maybe 2 weeks ago, I think. I wouldn't be surprised to see them moving in that direction. Are you familiar with Super Rare?
Yes.
They launched their own token today. They made the announcement.
Yeah, the Rare token.
Yes. Yeah. So probably a lot of these larger sites are going to be doing something similar, I would think. I'm actually really interested in this Super Rare. And if OpenSea did something, I would be interested in that as well. I really like the idea of a DAO and being able to curate. I'm also very interested in fractional ownership. And have you heard of Party DAO?
I haven't. Is that an NFT platform as well?
I'm still researching it. I'm a little confused, but I think the gist is anyone, let's say you and I wanted, and maybe 5 of our friends wanted a CryptoPunk, we could go on Party DAO and we could create a party and party bid on a CryptoPunk. We can bid on it together. Then we all have fractional ownership of that asset. I think as the prices continue to climb on some of these assets, like Beeple, for example, or some of the other major artists, they're just going to get out of reach for the average person. So I think that we will find groups of friends coming together to do something like this, and more and more DAOs will be purchasing assets and issuing tokens to the members, tokenizing a Bored Ape or CryptoPunk or whatever.
I know there's an art platform, and I'm going to find that for you guys and hopefully bring you the information tomorrow night, that actually does that for actual works of art, like a Picasso. You could actually ownership in that, like 30 people could get together. They may not all obviously have millions of dollars, but combining their money, they can, own, as you said, a fraction of that work of
Mhm.
art and use that as a store of value. So we're going to look that up for you guys, and we'll bring that to you tomorrow night. But that is a great idea, and now it's happening in the NFT space. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's another. I do not know who this artist is, but we mentioned him yesterday. Steve Aoki.
Yeah.
Is that how it's pronounced?
I don't exactly know.
Forgive us, Steve. But apparently he has just raised a lot of money to pilot a NFT TV show. And this seems to be the direction that a lot of these NFTs are going in. A crypto forward DJ is what he is. He's creating a proper pilot episode of his experimental NFT TV show called Dominion X. And there's Steve. I think DJing at some event or another. But
Yeah.
I know this is one of the folks who had a successful round of sales of NFT sales. So now he's raised money to do an NFT TV show. And there are other examples of NFTs that are saying that they're going to launch shows. Like, I think Cool Cats is one.
Yeah. And Glue Factory.
The Glue Factory is another one. The Board Yacht 8 Club is going to be doing a show. So this seems, and they're going to give people who own those NFTs a share. So this seems to be, again, part of the use case for some of these better NFT protocols. So be on the lookout. When you look out for NFTs and investing in them, what are they offering? I know Lazy Lions is another one. They don't have a show, but the Lazy Lions NFT is offering, as the floor rises, offering their owners a share of the profits, which is pretty cool. So here he is. He's done a funding round and raised several $1 million to do this. This show called a stop motion short called Dominion X. And he had it's named after the non-fungible token that he sold earlier this month that had a near instant sellout.
Yeah, I tried to get that. Impossible. They were really cool looking.
Yeah. Apparently he's doing this in collaboration with Stupid Booty Studios. Some of you may be familiar with Seth Green, but it's his production company. You guys remember Robot Chicken on Cartoon Network? So yeah, some big names involved in this endeavor for Mr. Steve Aoki. So be on the lookout for that, because I also know that means more NFTs are coming out.
Yeah, I think this is great because people know these names. They know Steve, they know Mila Kunis, they know Ashton Kutcher. And it's exposing NFTs, the concept of NFTs, to the masses, because tons of news articles come out about them. Maybe someone will see someone talking to a friend on Facebook about it. I think it's great. Just maybe people aren't going to dive right in NFTs, but they might hear about it and get curious. So just the exposure alone to what is an NFT, I think that's great.
Yeah, another big company, Alibaba, launching an NFT marketplace for copyright trading. This is going to be really big, especially in the Asian markets. So apparently you can buy a copyright along with your NFT going through Alibaba. So they're working on that. That is coming. So these are things, to be looking toward, to see what's out there, if they're going to end up launching their own token or not, or the NFTs that they will be offering. So it looks like everybody's jumping on this NFT bandwagon. It's quite interesting to see develop. And then I saw this one, Allison, that I think you will appreciate, from Bitsky. And again, when I say everybody's jumping into the NFT space, I am so not exaggerating. Even the WWE. So this is a NFT drop that they actually did some time ago, but this one sold out. And I just wanted to share with you guys like some of what they look like. They had a limited edition of The Undertaker. I do not watch wrestling, but I know there's a huge fan base for this kind of thing. The Undertaker,
Huge, yeah.
Had some for like 30,000. There was an auction that I guess that the person who bid 30,000 won that. There was another auction where a person bid $100,000 for one of these NFTs, and the list just goes on. And I understand that they have a new launch featuring John Cena. Is that how you say his name? I've seen him in movies. I
think
really know.
it's Cena.
John Cena, an actor. So that I'm sure that's going to sell out very, very quickly.
Yeah. I did want to clear up something yesterday. I think when we mentioned Bitsky, how they had completed some funding, it was mentioned in the article we talked about with Kings of Leon. If I gave the impression that it was a music platform, I do apologize. It's an NFT platform, a general platform.
Yeah, Bitsky is the one who's offering this and who will be doing the John Cena drop as well. So you guys, we have completed our daily news chat for you guys today. We hope that you've enjoyed what we've shared. Join us tomorrow and every day, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the crypto news around the clock. Happy to come to you to bring you what the latest crypto tips and trends are. Also, go to our Cryptonairz store. There's some really great merchandise there. If you want to show your love for crypto, pick up a mug,
t-shirt, notebook,
a t-shirt that says Cryptonairz. I know there's a horrible glare, but that says Cryptonairz there. They have journals so you can write down your important notes, your notes for when the next great NFT drop is. But the link for that is down in the banner below. Visit shopcryptonairz.com. We're thankful to have you. Please make sure that you like this video, that you share, and you subscribe. We're still working on getting to 1,000 subscribers by the end of August. It's still possible. We can do this together. We need your help. Get the word out, and then join us again tomorrow night for another episode of Around the Clock. Everybody have a great day tomorrow and a great rest of your night.
Good night.